It's like learning a language in that if you want to learn Spanish, you should spend your day talking Spanish and to people who can speak the language well. And he
Mm,
said the same thing with AI. He said, you should be, if you really want to get great with AI, he said, you should be querying AI 100 times a day.
mm,
And it was interesting. I was thinking, do I do that? And I think in some cases I definitely do. And I want to write an MCP server that counts and tracks the number and type of queries I'm asking per day just to see, is that a way to get there? And that it made a lot of sense to me. And what he said, I've always advocated people have their browser start up in AI with that on mine, like it just jumps right to ChatGPT or Claude as the home screen. And what he said is don't ever close it. Open up a window, stick it on your second monitor, and just have that there all day long, sitting right in front of you, and never close it.
mm.
And I thought about that, and I think there is a real parallel with learning, becoming fluent in languages. I've never studied abroad. Friends I know who have, they'll go over to France or Germany and study there for a year and come back fluent in the language. And it's AI is the same thing.
Yeah. It's fascinating thoughts. The thing that comes to mind when you were just talking through that was like how early we are. We have
Yeah.
not even learned even a fraction of like how to unlock these things. Like I feel the same way when I'm deep trying to learn something. Like I'll start high level and it will give me generic stuff. It just takes me a while to really dig into exactly how it can explain things to me and exactly how I can learn about various parts of that particular topic. It takes a while. What's really going to unlock it so much quicker is just devices. New devices are going to unlock this far quicker. You're going to be able to talk to AI more if you just have a device on your desk which is dedicated to talking to ChatGPT 5 or something. Obviously, we've got it on our phone, but it would be, I personally would love some sort of device that just sits next to me. And every time I have a thought, I like just ask AI, just get an idea. Just it is pretty low friction to like click on here, but like, I think it can be even lower friction. I honestly do. The lower that friction becomes, the more you'll use it.
You know what I have is I have a Stream Deck foot pedal, and the center of the foot pedal, it looks like something you'd have on a piano or something. And the one in the center goes to whisper flow for me. And
Right.
so when I want to talk or have a thought with AI, I just tap my foot and I just start talking. I don't have to move my hands anymore.
Mm,
I can turn it on right now. I just step there it is right at the bottom of my screen. And
mm,
it says using auto detect. And then I just click my foot and it's off again.
mm.
And that part of the conversation is now captured in AI and it can prompt it that way. And it's an almost friction-free way to just always have AI. I was gonna say at my fingertips, but it's at my at my toes.
This is why AI voice is going to become so big. This is why I've always said it. Like, this is why I've known it for months now. Obviously, I'm deep in it with Help Genie, but it just removes all the friction. It removes sometimes I'll go to a website and it'll be like enter a prompt, and I'll be like, oh, I can't even be bothered thinking about a prompt. I just want to just say something. Like I very rarely type. I don't type into my computer much at all anyway. Yeah. But if I'm on ChatGPT, I'm never typing into that box. I'm always
Oh
speaking.
no.
I'm always speaking. And that just removes all friction. But then even just like having devices, I think devices are going to be a thing. Maybe there's been this pendant idea, there's been this clip idea. I don't know. I don't know if that's going to be a thing or not, but I just think devices that are just AI first without hundreds of apps are going to be a thing. Like I really do. I remember start of the year, like I would love a device like that for my kids to just to learn about new things, if they have something they're doing at school or it's definitely going to be a thing. It's definitely going to be a thing. I would be a purchaser of that. I heard this really interesting stat and just how big, this is how big OpenAI are thinking. And I don't think anyone else is thinking this way. Did you know that they have signed up to pay Oracle $300 billion and then I think before the year 2030? So before the year 2030, so that's 5 years, they've signed up to 300 million. Their revenue is less than 15 billion right now, like less than 15 billion. The goal is to get out of the way, is to try and get out of the way of the AI or the machine. And this is what I constantly think. And I think you're like just making the point, even in the task that you've been working on, you're making a really valid case for why that is true. You've got to try to find a way. It's the same if I'm trying to code an application. Whenever I'm sitting down and I'm trying to think of the next thing to do and the next thing to do, I'm just thinking, man, I just want to get out of the way here. I just want to set it up and get it to work it out. And that's it. I think that's going to become more of a skill, like a real skill. It's kind of like management, right? It's just like becoming a manager.
You had a post about validation, and I really want to pick up on that because it's the thing we've been talking about recently, which is one of the hardest thing. And Nate Jones in his video yesterday, I don't know if you saw it, he talked about the skills you need, and one of the biggest ones he talked about was defining the stop condition. That when he showed like the OpenAI, the new agent modeling that looks like N8N,
Yeah.
that his whole thing was like the really hard thing in all this is to define when you're done.
Yeah.
And when you can do that and set those conditions, it, it's now to the point where, yeah, you're right. It's give it the data, give it the context, set the conditions, and get the hell out of the way.
Yeah. Because you're slowing it down. You're slowing it down
Yeah.
every time you're jumping in. Yeah, it's just so fascinating, isn't it? This has crept up on us so quickly, hasn't it? The tools have been created this year. The features within the tools have been created. And the MCP layer is making a lot have underrated the importance of MCP, haven't they? The ability to combine lots of different tools all together to create this connected loop. It's all part of the puzzle, isn't it?
It is. And I haven't really had a chance to sit down and play with the OpenAI stuff from Dev Day yesterday, but what they've basically done is let you build your own apps with MCP incorporated right in. And
Yeah,
they showed one with Spotify, and I've been using the Spotify MCP for a few weeks now, and they've got it where you just literally you do at Spotify and it pulls the MCP layer right in your LLM without doing anything. It just
yeah,
literally you add it.
yeah,
And I think at that point, what it can do is it can incorporate that into the calculations, and then it can actually blow it out when you're done to an app. Like it gives you like no more having to host it separately. Like you can actually host the app right within OpenAI. And that's where we've been talking about where's the stickiness in
yeah,
terms of keeping you within the platform. And when
yeah.
you've got the ability to just crank apps like that and then host them right within the platform, that's going to keep you there.
Yeah, I'm smiling because this is what has just really annoyed me in the information warfare that has been out there for the last like year or so around how are these guys going to make money? How is OpenAI going to be profitable? How is Claude these people just lack imagination. I'm telling you, they just lack
Yeah.
imagination because look at what they are doing. They are building there's a lot of people who are making money around AI, right? Like they are going to just start eating into those different categories. They can because they have all the users. Because I saw Lovable have done exactly the same, exactly the same. They've launched Lovable Cloud, so you can build your app, and then you don't have to connect up to Netlify. Then you don't have to connect up to. I can almost guarantee they're going to cut Superbase out soon. They'll directly connect into AWS or something like that. Like they'll.
You see where Google is now in bed with Lovable, that Google was offering free Lovable last weekend. Like you could access Lovable straight
Yeah.
through, I think it was through the Google AI Studio.
Yeah, I didn't even see that. But this is what these I just have I've shaked my head at these articles and these comments, and these are sometimes from quite well-respected people. I'm just like these people lack imagination. If you have users and you have a whole lot of smart people, connected people working in an organization, you can usually find a way. Like you can usually find a way to monetize and grow and become bigger. Google wasn't always this like behemoth that had all of these different arms making lots of money and then enabling them to create self-driving cars. Like you can, if you have users, like you can do a lot of stuff. And that's what Lovable has. Obviously, OpenAI has more users than anyone,